Hello. Today we'll be exploring a sport that has fans spinning. It's one of the fastest growing sports in America. That's right, we're talking about disc golf. And from Long Island Disc Golf, I have Jordan Knott. Thank you for being here, Jordan.
Happy to be here. Thanks for having me.
Okay, so just to start off, for those of us who don't really know anything about disc golf, could you explain to us, what it is?
Sure. Disc golf kind of began in California. Back from the advent of the Frisbee in the 1960s, kind of grew from there, and people turned it into a sport very much like golf.
Yeah, so it's just basically golf with Frisbees.
Well said, yeah.
Awesome. Now, I've been golfing before, but I haven't really seen one of these things. Could you tell me what that is?
Sure, that's the basket. So that would be analogous to the hole on the golf course. You want to get the Frisbee in there to finish the hole, and you want to do it in as few shots as possible.
Yeah. But why are the chains there? I feel like they'd get in the way.
Chains act as kind of a backboard. If you've ever thrown a Frisbee, you know that it kind of flies straight and flat. It would be very hard to get it to land into a basket. Really, really hard. So this gives you the opportunity to kind of throw it a little higher, a little lower, hit the chains, and land softly into the basket.
That makes sense. I'd get kind of upset if I just flew the Frisbee right over the hole and it didn't go in.
Yes, it upsets me all the time.
Obviously. So now I know the basic concept. Can you explain to me a little bit more of the details, like exactly what goes on during a disc golf game?
Sure. So you would throw off from a tee pad with your driver, right? Just again, like in ball golf or regular golf. We disc golfers call it ball golf. You would throw your driver, which goes the furthest. And certain drivers, some go further, some are more controlled. You'd work your way into the mid-range discs, the approach disc, and then eventually your putter.
Okay, awesome. So it goes from driver to the mid-range to the putter.
Yeah.
So I think we should start off learning about driving, since
Definitely.
that's first. I don't know, that seems like the hardest to me. Let's find out. Here's a little bit about driving.
Now the first shot you're going to have to make when you approach any hole is the drive. Drivers come in many shapes and styles, but the one thing they have in common is the very thin profile that's going to allow them to go very far. Now, when you're ready to pick out your driver, it may be a little overwhelming, but stick to great beginner drivers that are ready to help you max out your distance. Now the first thing you want to learn about driving is how to hold the disc. For that, we're going to use what we call the power grip. That's 4 fingers wrapped underneath the rim of the disc with the thumb firmly planted where the rim and the flight plate meet. That's going to allow you to get the most bang for your buck. Driving does take a lot of practice and work, but if you stick with it, I promise you'll see an improvement in your distance.
Wow, those things can really fly. How far would you say they can go?
The average pro is getting them beyond 600 feet consistently.
Okay, well, for those of us who can't throw quite that far, let's learn a little bit about the approach game.
Let's talk about the mid-range approach game. An accurate mid-range shot is essential to saving strokes off of any good disc golfer's game. Now, the primary difference between a mid-range shot and a drive is how you hold it. Instead of using the more conventional power grip, we're going to change to the fan grip, spreading our fingers along the underneath of the disc. This allows us to control the disc with more accuracy. The forehand shot can be an essential shot to any disc golfer's game. It allows you to approach the basket when a backhand shot isn't an option. Some of the benefits of disc golf go far beyond the physical fitness aspects. The low startup cost and very established community make it a great sport for people with not a lot of money and who want to socialize with a great community of people.
Okay, we're back with Jordan Knott of Long Island Disc Golf, and he's going to teach me how to putt.
All right. So, real simple. With putting, you want to take away as much risk of going to the side or high or low as possible. So you're taking your wrist out of it, you're taking your elbow out of it, and you're just kind of following your leg line.
Okay.
Just like this, nice and simple. At least this is the way I do it. Everybody does it a little different. So the right foot a little bit in front of your left,
Okay.
and you're going to kind of follow your leg line just like this. Now notice how my grip is a little bit up here. It gives you a little further control on the disc.
Okay.
And we're just going to follow just like this, and I'm going to release to the hole like so.
Okay. Can I
Go
try?
for it. All
A
right,
little too high. Can I go ahead and try again?
go for it.
Can't miss one too big.
Takes practice, like anything. You're getting there.
I like hitting the yellow thing.
You're getting there.
Let me take one more try at that. There we go. Awesome.
Very nice.
Now, I know when I'm golfing, I often find myself behind a tree, like every time. What happens if there's like an obstacle on the course? Like, obviously, you can't just go like that.
Right, right. So in those situations, that's when, get this one. That's when you would do something called a straddle putt. So let's say there's a tree right here. You have to have one foot where the disc lands.
Okay.
So I'd be right where that disc is, and I would kind of lean out and come just like that. Or if the tree was over here, and let's say there was a bush right here, I'd kind of come and go this way, just like that. But again, I'm keeping that same, just straight arm, taking the wrist out of it. So straddle putt, very similar, right to the basket.
Cool. Let's see if I get this one better. So kind of a tree right here,
Sure.
foot right there. And you don't want to bend the elbow, right? You
Right,
wanna
you're
keep it
not
straight.
throwing it like a long frisbee, you're keeping it more controlled.
Okay, okay, cool. So,
Take it. That was
that
very
yellow
close.
thing. I'm very good at hitting that yellow thing.
That's
If that was
true.
the game, I'd be killing you. Well,
So one positive to that is you'd rather be far than short.
okay, well, that's good, that's good. Okay, well, it looks like I'm going to need to practice a little bit more because that's all the time we have here for today. I'd like to thank everyone for joining us, and thank you very much to Jordan Knott and all of Long Island Disc Golf for helping us here today. If you'd like to learn more about the sport of disc golf, just go to www.longislanddiscgolf.com. They'll show you all the places you can play and give you a few pointers too. So thank you, that's all the time we have here. I'm Jonathan Cooper. Have a great day.